Full moon's a time of culmination, a moment to take stock of everything that has been unfolding and to readjust and realign our direction towards a more balanced future. This is considered a time in which we begin to collect the results or the repercussions of past actions and past relationships. Looking at the planetary alignment, full moons are all about tension and opposition. The sun, that represents our public persona, our ego, is opposing the moon, that represents our inner world, our intuition. This planetary friction stirs up the shadow side within us, the unconscious parts of ourselves that require integration and rebalancing so that we can come back to a state of harmony. How this shadow side manifests depends heavily on the sign where the full moon is occurring and the sign that is opposite to it. And in this case, the full moon is happening on the sign of Capricorn, with the opposite sign to it being Cancer. So what are the shadow qualities of these signs that may begin to surface? What are the lessons that we need to face in order to realign our lives? In this forecast, I'll begin to explain the general effects of this full moon, and then I will be going into insights sign by sign according to your moon, rising, and sun sign. If you enjoy this type of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more. I also offer private readings for those who would like to get more in depth. So now, let's get started with the reading. We all have Capricorn somewhere in our charts, and this is the area where this full moon will likely be more impactful and more significant. So what are the qualities of Capricorn? Capricorn is known for being ambitious, responsible, practical, and deeply committed to hard work. This sign often expresses loyalty, patience, discipline, especially in the pursuit of long-term stability and success. Although typically reserved, Capricorn also has a very caring and nurturing side that they only reveal to those that have really earned their trust. However, like every sign, Capricorn has a lower manifestation that is activated especially by transits like these tense aspects of the full moon in which the sun is opposing the moon. And these can bring about challenges that require our conscious efforts in order to transmute. So now let's take a closer look at Capricorn's shadow side and how it may manifest. Capricorns can be overly focused on career goals, public image, and external success, often to the point of neglecting emotional needs or disconnecting from loved ones. There can be a tendency to value status over authenticity and productivity over presence. However, it is important to understand that although there is this focus and this glorification of work, achievement, and success by society, this is actually a lower manifestation of Capricorn, a shadow side of Capricorn. In its higher manifestation, in its higher form, Capricorn is not just about climbing the ladder. It's about doing meaningful work, purposeful work, the kind of work that resonates with your soul and contributes positively for society. Ruled by Saturn, the planet that represents discipline and integrity, Capricorn teaches us to build structures that align with truth, authenticity, and long-term sustainability. This is very different of what we see glorified out there today. Manipulation, power games, lies. We can see this happening every day in our legal and political systems, in our corporate world. Many people compromise their own needs and the needs of others just to be accepted, just to succeed by somebody else's standards. And during this full moon, these themes will come strongly into focus. The moon in Capricorn sits opposite to the sun in Cancer, which rules over our emotional security, our intuition, and our sense of belonging. This axis between your personal needs and your responsibilities, home and career, inner truth and public image, will be asking for balance. So ask yourself, am I aligned with my true purpose? Am I living in integrity with who I really am? Am I treating the people in my life with love and respect? And am I doing the same for myself? Where am I sacrificing my own emotional needs just to meet external expectations? This lunation is about prioritizing your emotions, reconnecting with your inner self, and let your intuition guide your next steps. It's not about abandoning ambition. It's about aligning it with your truth. And with Cancer in the mix, self-care and emotional nourishment becomes non-negotiable. This is about tending to your inner foundation so that you can create lasting and authentic success. And when you understand yourself, you are better equipped to support others and even to place boundaries when needed. You also know when to step back and recharge and honor your own rhythm. This is not selfish, it's wise. Because when you take care of yourself, everything else in your life, including your career, begins flowing with more ease and clarity. This full moon is about reconnecting with your inner compass. Allow yourself the space to rest, reflect, and release any guilt about slowing down. It is in this pause that your inner wisdom and purpose can rise to the surface. Above all, take time to listen to your intuition and let go of any relationships and commitments that no longer support your growth or align with your path. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Capricorn, this reading is for you. This means that during this lunation, the moon will be in Capricorn in your first house, and the sun will be in the opposite house, Cancer, in your seventh house. This may create emotional tension between your needs and the needs of your relationships. You may actually feel during this time more sensitive than usual, but find it difficult to open up. Unfortunately, this may make you be perceived as cold or distant, but what is really needed here is that you make an effort to have emotional openness. Allow others in, speak from the heart, and give a chance for strengthening the bonds in your relationships and the people in your life to be able to show up for you. On the flip side, ask yourself, have I been too enmeshed in my relationships, compromising my goals, voice, or well-being just to keep the peace? If the answer is yes, this is your cue to set boundaries when needed and reclaim your space without guilt. You may also feel pressure during this time to maintain a certain image, seeking validation through status, reputation, or success. But Capricorn in its higher form is not just about empty success. It's about purpose-driven work, done with authenticity and integrity. So ask yourself, am I chasing a goal that reflects who I truly am? Have I strayed too far from my values in pursuit of recognition? Do I need to reconnect with my original vision, the one that comes from the soul? Your health and emotional well-being also come strongly into spotlight during this full moon. Where have you been pushing yourself too hard to the point of ignoring your body's signals? This is your invitation to slow down, rest, and realign. This full moon invites a return to self, not the image that you present to the world, but the one that lives inside, under the surface. Empowering theme, honor thyself, let it lead. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Sagittarius, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon will fall under your second house. The second house relates to your finances, possessions, self-worth, and the resources you rely on for security and stability. And with the full moon falling under this area, you are being asked to examine your relationship with value, both personal value and material value. So you may notice during this time some attachments surfacing in regards to money, success, belonging. You may feel a little bit more sensitive during this time in regards to these topics. And this is a great time to reassess your financial patterns. So ask yourself, are you spending just to make yourself feel better? Just to soothe some emotional uncomfort? Or are you hoarding and holding on too tight to finances out of fear of loss or fear of lack? This transit is revealing to you how deeply your self-worth is entangled with your material possessions. Are you defining your value for what you own or earn? Do you believe you are enough, even without the material possessions, even without the external validation? You are more than what you have. Your true worth lies within. And when you honor that, the external world reflects it back. This is a powerful moment too. Reclaim your sense of inner value. Align your financial actions with self-respect. Release outdated commitments or beliefs that no longer serve your growth. Build new emotional and material foundations based on truth and trust. Ground yourself, listen inward, and trust the strength you have already built. If you are sun, moon, and rising in Scorpio, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon falls under your third house in Capricorn, which activates your communication sector. This highlights how you express yourself, how you share ideas, or how you connect with those around you. Your sensitivity may be triggered, and you may find it more difficult now to communicate from a place of grounding. Or on the other hand, you may feel like more secretive during this time and with more difficulty to express your emotions. So you may feel like a tendency to pull back and to be more guarded with your communication. However, suppressing your voice out of fear of judgment or of criticism may lead to bottled up emotions, which can create the effect of putting the foot in the mouth, engaging into arguments, conflict, or general miscommunications and misunderstandings. So during this full moon, it is important that you work towards expressing your emotions in a more open and honest way, as this may help to bring clarity and healing to your relationships. However, be aware of brutal honesty, as it can be as harmful as lies, and focus on communicating from a place of compassion and empathy. Ask yourself, do I speak from a place of grounding, truth, and love? Or do I speak from a place of fear, anger, and ego? These are important themes for you to sit upon and meditate around this full moon. As the intensity of this full moon may leave you feeling anxious, restless, or overthinking yourself, it may be difficult now to focus on daily tasks. So it is important that you find a healthy outlet for your emotional expression, such art or some physical activity. Find time to relax, reset, and be playful. A little bit of humor can help smooth things out and shift the mood. You are undergoing a powerful moment of recalibration, So if you need to spend some time by yourself, it is not selfish, it is wise. It's usually in those moments when clarity arrives. Opposing this full moon, the sun is in your ninth house in Cancer, highlighting your house of beliefs and higher wisdom, prompting you to ask, are my thoughts aligned with my truth? Where am I being too rigid with my beliefs? During this full moon, you may feel torn between staying grounded in familiar thoughts or expanding your worldview. This is your chance to break mental patterns and express what truly matters to you. And even start learning and sharing something that inspires you and ignites your growth. Avoid rigid thinking. Openness can be healing now. Empowering theme. Speak with integrity. Let your words be bridges, not barriers. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Libra, this reading is for you. Home, family, and emotional foundation come into focus now. You are being called to examine the structures you have built around safety and belonging. Do they truly support your growth, or are they keeping you boxed in? This full moon may highlight emotional patterns stemmed from tradition, family, or your childhood. How is that relational dynamic with your family is still influencing your behavior? It is important to ask yourself, am I seeing and perceiving people in a clear and objective way? Am I giving people a fair and honest chance to show me who they are? Or am I projecting subconscious dynamics based on fear and emotional imprints? Don't be afraid to be brutally honest with yourself. Only through this means is that you will be able to shatter the illusion. During this time, you may as well be redefining what home and safety means to you. So don't be afraid to step back and create new boundaries or nurture your space in a way that is aligned with who you are today, not who you had to be in the past. Sitting across the moon in your fourth house is the sun in your 10th house, the house that represents career and public reputation. So you may feel during this full moon like you are torn between your emotional needs and your public responsibilities. Ask yourself, are you sacrificing one for the other? It is important to analyze where you're letting your need for external validation, for recognition, steer you away from genuine expression or from nurturing your own needs. It is important that you take time to reconnect with your own truth and find a new renewed sense of safety and self-reliance that is not based on the opinions of others, but in self-love, gained wisdom, compassion, and self-awareness. Empowering theme. Strengthen your inner roots so your outer success has a place to land. If you are Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this reading is for you. Creativity, love, romance, and self-expression are in the spotlight. This full moon in your 5th house invites you to reconnect with what lights you up. It is important to learn to balance your sense of responsibility with enjoyment and lightheartedness. Reflect, where are you being too serious or restrictive, or where are you holding yourself back for fear of criticism or failure? Sitting across the moon, the sun is in your 11th house in Cancer, lighting up the themes of community and your hopes and your wishes. Ask yourself, are you afraid to be seen? Are you hiding your gifts for fear that they won't be accepted? where you're relying too much on external validation, especially on the validation of your friends. If you do not express your inner child, you may end up bottling up emotion that may come out without warning as anger, envy, jealousy, and create conflict in your life. So this is the time for you to bravely and courageously step into your authenticity and trust that your uniqueness has a place in this world. You don't need to earn pleasure or repress your inner child in order to be taken seriously, or dim your light in order to show that you care. You can be all: responsible, compassionate, and radiant. Empowering theme: it's safe to shine. Joy is your birthright, not a reward. If you are Sun, Moon, or Rising Leo, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon falls under your 6th house, which brings the spotlight to your work, your service, daily routines, and work-life balance. It's time to reassess. Either your habits are supporting you or draining you. The 6th house brings special awareness to health issues related to the workplace. Not just any health issues, but the health issues that I like to call as a disease of the soul. So what do I mean about that? Did you ever have those symptoms that no matter how much you treat, they persist, and that your doctor have trouble in diagnosing or even prescribing you medicine that can treat those symptoms? But they seem to always appear when you are in a specific work environment where you're performing repeatedly certain tasks or when you're around certain people. Scientifically speaking, this can actually be explained as a disease of the nervous system caused by stress. So if your job is unfulfilling, if you are not aligned with your inner truth, if you are not doing something that you love, in other hand, if you are doing something that is straining you, if you are working in a work environment where people are bullish, when you're constantly being victim of harassment, where there is conflict, your health may suffer and your body will protest to just being in that environment. During this full moon, this may become evident to you, and you may find yourself considering if the place you are working in and the tasks you are performing in a daily basis are the most supportive of your well-being. Sitting across this full moon, you have your Sun in Cancer in the 12th house. This means that deeper undercurrents are at play. You will be called to slow down and rest and process feelings that you may have buried for the sake of work, productivity, or even recognition. This lunation asks, have you been overgiving, overworking, or neglecting your needs for the sake of productivity? Creating new systems and healthier boundaries will allow for more space in your life for peace, clarity, and general well-being. Empowering theme: rest is not a weakness, it's a strategy. Align your habits with your healing. If your Sun, Moon, or Rising is in Cancer, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon falls under your 7th house, highlighting the sector of relationships. So either it is romantic, professional, platonic, this is the time of reckoning. So what kind of roles have you been playing in your close bonds, and are they supportive of your growth? You may feel more sensitive towards your close relationships and partnerships during this time, which may lead to disappointment if your expectations are not met. So during this full moon, consider, where have you been too reliant on your partners for validation and emotional support? And where may this have been proven to be unfulfilling? Past traumas, emotional scars that affect trust may be triggered during this time. This is an invitation to go within, to heal, understand, and integrate these wounds. Important karmic lessons may result from this introspection, which can help you to course correct and strengthen your emotional foundation. Sitting across this full moon is your sun in Cancer, highlighting your identity and your emotional needs. If you've been too accommodating or too guarded, this is your chance to rebalance this dynamic. This is a powerful time to set new intentions around the themes of how you give and receive love. Relations built on mutual respect and emotional maturity can deepen now, while others can call for healthy detachment and closure. Empowering theme. You teach others how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Start there. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Gemini, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon is happening in your 8th house, the house of transformation, shared resources, and emotional depth. I'm not gonna lie, this may feel intense, but it's also very healing. You are being called to face hidden fears, emotional dependency, or unresolved issues around power or intimacy. Are you holding to emotional baggage, financial entanglements, or patterns that keep you small? With the sun in Cancer in your 2nd house, themes of self-worth and financial independence arise. This is a time to reframe how you give and receive emotionally, financially, spiritually, and materially. This is a powerful time to release depth, outdated bonds, and energetic attachments. Let go of what drains you so that you can reclaim your energy and step into deeper power. Empowering themes. True security begins within. Reclaim your power by releasing what's no longer yours to carry. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Taurus, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon falls under your 9th house, the house connected with your beliefs, worldviews, and long-term goals. You are being asked to reassess what you believe is possible for you. Challenges may arise in communication during this time, as you may feel much more strongly defensive and protective of your beliefs. To avoid conflict, it's important that you are able to reflect with yourself and reassess where maybe perhaps you have grown too attached to a certain way of thinking to the point that you don't want to allow any new information in. When we feel usually too strongly and defensive towards a particular belief, this usually means that there's fear and insecurity within us, and we just want to cover our ears and not hear anything new because we are afraid that any new information will shake our foundation. This is especially important because the sun will be in Cancer in your 3rd house, putting special emphasis in how you express yourself and how you receive communication. If you have been playing safe or clinging to outdated beliefs out of safety, this lunation offers a push to expand. Say yes to what inspires you, even if it feels unfamiliar, and seek out knowledges and experiences that challenges your perceived assumptions. Empowering theme. You are allowed to grow beyond what you once believed. A new vision awaits. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Aries, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon falls under your 10th house, which highlights your career, public life, and long-term ambitions. Have your goals been aligned with your soul? Or have you been chasing success for external validation? During this full moon, feelings of dissatisfaction with your career may arise. and you may find yourself reconsidering your overall choices in life. Self-doubt or the need for external validation may leave you feeling like you are not good enough. This activation in your chart ultimately wants to teach you that it's not just about work, success, and public recognition, but especially about your integrity, about you giving yourself the integrity to look for your true purpose in life, for work that fulfills your soul, and to express yourself and contribute to society from an honest and authentic place. It's about realigning with your true soul's desire. Also, the sun will be across the moon in your 4th house in Cancer, which reminds you that true success is unsustainable if your emotional life is on shaky grounds. So if you've been neglecting your inner world for the sake of success or achievement, this is your time to get back to yourself. Find some time to rest, set back, and reset, and reconnect with yourself so that clarity may arise. Self-awareness is the key. This lunation, you may have the chance to redefine what legacy truly means for you. Empowering theme, build a legacy that nourishes, not depletes. You don't have to sacrifice your heart to reach your goals. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Pisces, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon falls under your 11th house, the house of your friendships, future goals, and your connection to the collective. It's time to evaluate the people and communities around you. Do they support your growth or hold you back? Themes of emotional attachment and over-idealizing your friends and your groups may become evident during this time, leading to potential conflict or disappointment. It is important to analyze where have you been too caught up in your group dynamics to the point of blindsiding yourself or not seeing reality clearly. Also, if you have been behaving in a way just to fit in or to be accepted, if you have been allowing yourself to be discouraged from pursuing your dreams by your social groups or your social interactions, sacrificing your true desires, you might start seeing the results and the repercussions of that. With the sun sitting in Cancer in your 5th house, you are being invited to reconnect back with your true joy, with your authenticity, with your creativity and your personal passions. So if you have been over-identifying with group dynamics, group ideals, or people-pleasing, just to be accepted, this is your time to realign. This lunation may bring you clarity about which connections are still worth investing in and which passions still light you up. Let go of outdated visions so that you can make space for more aligned, soul-connected goals. Empowering theme, the future you want begins with choosing yourself now. If your sun, moon, or rising is in Aquarius, this reading is for you. This means that this full moon falls under your 12th house, the house of the subconscious mind, intuition, and emotional baggage. You may be called to retreat, rest, or reflect more deeply. This full moon in your 12th house makes you during this time more in tune and psychically connected, as this is the house of the hidden and the collective. You may be receiving downloads of emotions from everyone around you, which can make it confusing and overwhelming. So it may be difficult now during this period to distinguish which are your emotions, which are somebody else's emotions. Activities like meditation, yoga, or other type of exercise can be very helpful to you during this time. This is another opportunity to tune in with yourself, rebalance your energy, and prioritize your health and well-being. Karmic memories from the past may also arise now, asking to be integrated and healed. It's about finding yourself in the middle of the noise and reclaiming your power back. However, if you feel too confused or overwhelmed, and if you feel like the answers are not coming back, be patient with yourself. There may be a much bigger lesson at play here. Maybe the bigger lesson is not about clarity or alignment. Maybe the bigger lesson here with the 12th house being activated, it's about surrendering and trusting a higher power. So this is a great time for you to connect with your spiritual guides, with your ancestors, with your angels, and ask them for protection and for guidance. Opposite to the moon in your 12th house is the sun in your 6th house, which may reveal imbalances in your routine and work that are upsetting your health and well-being. So if you have been too strongly exposed to stress or pushing yourself through pain and ignoring your body's signs, this lunation asks you to pause and prioritize your well-being. This is a beautiful time to release limiting beliefs or karmic patterns that have kept you small. Solitude may be sacred now. Healing, it's not about fixing yourself. It's about remembering who you truly are. As this Capricorn full moon rises in the sky, it asks us not for perfection, but for presence. Not for endless motion, but for meaningful steps. Not for empathy hustle, but for heart-aligned effort. This is the time to release what's heavy, reclaim your power, and recommit to the version of yourself who knows that the long road is worth walking, especially when it leads you home to your own integrity. So let this moon be a mirror. Let it show you who you've become and who you are ready to be. So this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this forecast. If you would like to have a more holistic, more complete overview of the recurring transits, I also invite you to watch my videos of the entry of Uranus in Gemini and Jupiter in Cancer right here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and to share this video with star seeds that may need this message. I wish you a very, very happy and peaceful full moon in Capricorn. Much love.